evening, friends. It's a very special day.
Good evening to one and all present here. I welcome you in today's special webinar where Mr. Sunil Damania, CIO Mojo PMS, will share the impact of exit polls on the stock market and give valuable insights into what to expect and how to navigate your investments during this critical period. Towards the end, we would also be having a Q&A session. So please post your questions in the comment box below. Over to you, Sunil sir.
Hey, thanks a lot, and I just jumped the queue actually. Did not wait for the Mehtab to introduce me, but I think there is a very famous song, Bollywood song that remind me कि जिसका मुझे था इंतजार वो घड़ी अब आ गई. You know, everyone has been waiting from last 6-7 months. Election में क्या होगा? You know, and today the exit poll will give an indication कि क्या होने वाला है. Now the basic question that everyone is right now in the mind. How seriously should you take the exit poll? You know, do they really indicate? And should you wait for the market, or should you wait for the 4th June, that's on Tuesday, to really make a sense of what's going to be the outcome? So what I've done in this, it's a very small presentation, but it's a very powerful presentation I made actually, just to give you a look at the key points, you know, which basically helps you to. So I've cut the noise in the process to help you understand how you should read the exit poll, and based on that, what should be your action strategy should be for Monday and beyond Monday. So before I begin, just a disclaimer that this webinar is just to enhance your understanding about the market. Please read the offer documents very carefully. Investment in the equity market are subject to market risk, and past performance no indicator of future returns. So now the basic question that comes to our mind, do exit poll matter to the market? क्या market really exit poll पे कुछ react करता है? कि they take it lightly? Because if you read all exit poll, they would say health warning. Exit poll can go wrong, am I right? And how reliable this exit poll are? I must tell you, exit polls are very reliable. Don't try to fool yourself, because I know some people will come on TV channel, someone will say कि exit poll गलत भी हो सकता है and so on and so forth. And why am I saying so? It's not that I'm just saying this based on gut feeling. We are a Market Mojo is a company basically who look at the historical trend. And what we have realized, and we are looking at only the Lok Sabha election, we are not looking at the assembly election, because there could be different outcome in the assembly election. But last 2 times, if you look at how accurate the exit polls were, they're very accurate in terms of predicting who is going to form the government. So let's look at 2014. The various exit polls suggested that NDA will get 249 seats. Am I right? 249. Maximum was 340. And if you take the poll, let's say average of everyone, 282. How much NDA actually got? 336. So of course they missed it by big margin in terms of when I look at the average of everyone. But the prediction was that the NDA will form will get the majority. That came true. Actual was 336. The difference was 19. One more good exactly thing happened. The guy who predicted the maximum, very close to that, the actual numbers came. That's in 2014. Let's go back to the 2019. Basically the 5 years forward. And we look at 2019 also, the average was 306, but actual was 353. In other words, in 2019 also, the exit poll predicted that NDA will form the government, and it did actually. Another good thing, which is another trend that we saw, the maximum someone predicted was 352, and actually the NDA got 353 seats, very close. 340 and 336, the maximum I'm talking about. So the probability is very high that someone who is more bullish on NDA in terms of exit poll, that number may stick around. That's the probability that's very, very high. In both the cases, there was a positive surprise for the NDA. In other words, the average of this one was predicting little less for the NDA. Eventually, they got more in this. So I think my sense is that you should take exit poll seriously. Don't take it, discount it. They are reliable. Some people may make you believe, "Arey, reliable nahi hai," and so on and so forth. they are very much reliable and does gives an indication who is going to form the next government. Now come to the market. How does the market react to it? एक चीज तो है कि मैं exit poll आ गया. Does the market react it? Does it take it seriously? Does it not take it seriously? And the market also takes these numbers very seriously. And look at this data. How does the market react to the exit poll? On the contrary, you will be surprised to know that market reacts more to the exit poll than the actual numbers coming in. And again, the data. The 12th May 2014, the exit poll was get announced. That's in the evening. The Sensex, the Nifty 50 was 7014. 7014. On 13th May, the market can react only the next day. Today, the exit poll is getting announced. The market can react only on Monday, am I right? On 13th May, market moved up by 1.34%. And then journey from 13 May to 16 May 2014, when the results were actually announced, market moved up by only 1.33%. In other words, and that was not only one day. In one day, it moved up by 1.34% on the exit poll, the immediate reaction to the exit poll. The 14th, 15th and 16th, 3 days, the market actually went up by only 1.33%. Exit poll to result, the total gain has been 2.69%. More than 50% has been accounted only on the exit poll. In other words, the market does take it seriously in 2014. Let's come back to 2019 now. 11,407, that was the level when the exit poll was announced. The market reacted on 20th May with 3.69%. And from that exit poll till the actual result, the market actually went down by 1.45. In other words, the exit poll had more impact on the market sentiment than the actual numbers. And eventually, the overall returns from the exit poll till the results were announced were up by 2.19%. Now remember, in both the occasions, the NDA did win. They did come into the power, and the exit poll were quite accurate in that sense. So remember two things. Exit poll has more impact on the market sentiment than the actual numbers. I know you may be surprised to know this, but that's the thing. And there is a very famous saying in the market: buy on rumor, sell on news. So exit poll does factor in that, okay, based on the exit poll, market will react, and then once eventually that happens, there is no surprise for the market, right? Because anyway, market was expecting based on the exit poll. And then you look at the muted returns, maybe muted returns or maybe negative returns from the market. Now that brings another question, that this time the market was a little nervous before the exit poll. Why am I saying so? You look at what happened in last 5 days, trading days. Everything was in the red except the PSU Bank, which is marginally up by 0.4%. But otherwise, whether it's a mid cap, small cap, Nifty, Sensex. And why was the market a little nervous? Because this time there was a fear. It could be any way the things can, pendulum can move. And if you look at some of the reports which just came yesterday, we're saying from the sector market is that it looks like a 50-50 chance of NDA and the India Alliance coming back. And this market did not. So market doesn't like uncertainty. Remember, the one thing which market doesn't like is uncertainty. And when the uncertainty related to election, related to budget and so on and so forth, does impact the sentiment. So just before the event, market went little nervous, which is a good sign for the bull. Why? Had it discounted too much before the market that BJP is going to form the government or India is going to form government, then it's there in the price. Then you don't expect. When market did got nervous, lost near about 2%, both Sensex and Nifty, and mid and small cap got lost near about 1.5%. So now let's look at what exit polls are predicting. Of course, all exit polls are not yet out till the time. I've looked at 4-5 exit polls which have given for all India, which clearly suggests that big win for NDA. In fact, NDA has a 342 seats in the just concluded Lok Sabha. There is a high probability that number will further increase. And when you look at the data, of course, I did not get too much time because 6:30 exit poll started coming out. I'm in front of it 7:30, and still the debate is going on TV channel. But what comes out very clearly is this: NDA is gaining, and BJP is gaining in South. Most probably, Tamil Nadu BJP will have a Lok Sabha member. most probably in Kerala, the BJP will have a members, Lok Sabha members. Karnataka looks like NDA is going in the favor, despite one of the NDA partner ran into a sex kind of a scandal kind of a stuff, and yet NDA seems to be winning in the Karnataka. So clearly, one thing which is clearly coming out. So if you go back, look at this way. 2014, BJP was more of a north and the western part of the country. No presence in the south, no presence in the northeast. In 2019, it gained in north, it gained in west. It was there and northeast also. I think 2024, it's going to have a stronghold even in the south, and I think market is going to like that. So exit poll prediction clearly gives an indication that BJP is going to be, Modi will be the Prime Minister third time in a row. That's what the exit poll, and going by the history, which clearly said that you should not take exit poll lightly. Market is going to react. So what would be your strategy now? How should you play this exit poll? That's a very simple, that everyone wants to know, kya hoga? Monday ko kya hoga? How is the market going to react on Monday? Market is going to react very positively on Monday. This is the first time there was an India alliance where all opposition party at the national level coming together to take on the BJP and the NDA, which is not which we have seen in the past happening at the state level. Like in UP, SP, BSP form and Congress form, and they took on this one. This is the first time there has been an alliance at the national level, and yet BJP is going to retain. So there is anti-incumbency factor, isn't it? There is a fear. There is a inflation. There was a fear. There was a impact of a unemployment and so on and so forth. And yet BJP is able to retain the power, and I think market will give a thumbs up. Very simply, I think one more takeaway that market will really like it is the gain in the south. So, in fact, I was watching some TV channel before coming in the webinar in the studio, that even in Maharashtra, which was like supposed to be a little tough fight for NDA, seems to be having an upper hand. In Rajasthan, BJP may lose some of the seats, but Gujarat, all 26 seats. In South, they are gaining. As I told you, in Karnataka, they will get, even in the Andhra, it looks like that the NDA will get the more number of seats, So I think market is definitely going to cheer that. So don't expect market to have a muted reaction to the exit poll. Now the question does come, uske baad kya? Should you really? So, I'm not a very big fan of, this kind of an event, to be honest with you. Why? Because we are here all for creating long-term wealth. So these events will keep coming, keep going. You will forget also in 3 months down the line, there was an event kind of stuff. Our view on the long-term market continues to remain extremely robust. Irrespective of what happens to the exit poll. Suppose tomorrow the exit poll goes for a toss also. As Mohit was saying yesterday, the momentum is with India, irrespective of which political party, who governs the country. I think momentum is with India, and I think that's where the market is going to be at the new peak. So, by the time I come in front of you in 2029 and discuss about exit poll in 2029, remember market would be substantially higher than what it is right now. Are we changing our outlook on the equity market? The answer is clearly no post-exit poll. And of course, I will again come in front of you on 4th June also, and again we'll discuss. But right now, don't get too much excited by one day. The news, the fact of the life is that Indian equity markets should do extremely well, but there will be some corrections in the interim, purely because of the valuations are very rich. Now let's look at what happened to the market movement post-exit poll in 2014 and 2019. So 2014, the market did extremely well. This is the first time there was a Modi wave and so on and so forth. And market did extremely well. If you look at the 3 months or if you look at the 6 months, market did extremely well. But in 2019, you look at 3 months market was not, despite BJP getting more number of seats, despite NDA getting more number of seats than what it was in 2014, it did not. In fact, there was a fear also that BJP may not retain. Why? And then Pulwama effect, and a lot of people, experts attribute that Pulwama effect impact did help NDA. But market went down, the small cap almost went down by 9%, mid cap down by almost 5.5%, and BSE find it down by 3.5%. And even if you look at the 6 months, the BSE small cap was still in the red 6 months down the line. So there is a election impact, and then market will go back to the fundamental factors. The event is getting over. In fact, 6-7 महीने से जो everyone has been talking about election. Now that event will get over on 4th June. From 6th June onwards, market will start focusing on the fundamentals, and market again will come back to the earnings growth. We will talk about what's happening in the geopolitical situation. We'll talk about the valuations and so on and so forth. That's what's going to happen. So one day price movement should not be the decisive factor for you whether to remain in the market or getting out of the market. With this, I have concluded my presentation. I know it's a very brief presentation I did, and let's open the floor for question and answer.
So this first question is from Mr. Milan. What do retail investors should do on Monday?
What you should do, Milan sir, please look at some of the companies which valuations are good. Some of the sectors that are basically likely to gain because of if BJP is going to come back, the market will cheer up. PSU stocks market will cheer up. The defense stocks market will cheer up. Railway stocks market will cheer up. Pharma stocks. Please go ahead and buy those companies provided the valuations are right. So that's my suggestion would be. And don't basically you are not going to invest for one day, am I right? You are going to invest for 5 years. So please go ahead and buy some of the sectors, companies from the sectors that I had mentioned. I think, and today the GDP data that came out is also quite robust. 10% growth that has been reported, which is also good. Market will also take into consideration that India's credit, that the rating has been also been improved from what we call stable to positive by S&P. So market now will start looking at these factors and will start looking at it. So yes, please go ahead, Milan, on Monday and buy. There is nothing wrong with the market now. Of course, but be careful with the stock selection.
So this is from Mr. Ajay. Shall we do some profit booking and then invest again when correction happens?
That's you profit booking should never be the function of exit poll, should never be function of budget, should never be function of profit booking. Should be 365 days. It should not link with one event. And how should you do profit booking? And I have said many times, Ajay ji, on the webinar, profit booking, you should profit book, you should do profit booking when the reason why you bought that company, that reason no longer holds true. You should never do profit booking because election ka result aane wala hai, iske liye karna hai. Nahi. So there are some companies which we hold in our model portfolio in the markets. Been holding for 3 to 4 years, up by 700%. One of the defense company, we are not at the profit booking. The Varun Beverages up by more than 400%. We continue to hold that company despite there was in between fear that Reliance is coming in and basically that can disrupt through Coca-Cola the market sort of Varun Beverages. But we did not do that. So point is that profit booking should not be a function of exit poll or something. Profit booking function of the reason why I bought that company, that reason no longer holds true. I should exit of that. If the reason continues to be there, please don't do profit booking. Please don't do profit booking. So that's why I said your view should be on the profit booking, should be on the script, not on the overall market. That's how you should. Otherwise, what will happen? You may get out of that company, you may not be able to re-enter that company for a longer period of time. Remember that. There are some companies like I was mentioning other day about Asian Paints. We did the profit booking not because our view on the market was bad. We did profit booking because we believe that this company will underperform, and it did underperform. Market went up substantially high in 2 years period, but script did not perform. So logic should be, okay, again remember this word, and jot down in a diary or wherever you was to, profit booking should not be the function of the view on the market. Profit booking should be the function of your view on that company, whether it will do well or not.
So this is from Mr. Satyan. Thank you, Sunil, for the deep insights on the exit poll. Should we buy on Monday or wait until the correction takes place?
Sir, again, Satyan sir, very simple logic. Buy company which I was telling from the place like defense, railway, PSU, pharma. That's what the manifesto of the BJP talked about. And they are going to be in the demand, okay, not for one day, for next 4 to 5 years. And that is so, please go ahead. Just look at the values. And so because there also you need to be a little selective in terms of which stock you need to buy. So do that, but please buy on Monday.
So this is from Mr. Ravi. How to encash the budget upswing?
Ravi said, how to encash it? Again, how to encash a budget upswing? See, budget is also a little dilemma there. What happens if there is an upswing or downswing post-budget, we don't know. There is a little fear of a capital gain. And what is the fear? If you go back, Mr. Garg, which was Ministry of Secretary in the Ministry of Finance before the previous budget, he mentioned about there is a thought process in the Ministry of Finance that all assets class should have a similar kind of a capital gain tax treatment. One capital asset should not have a different kind of a capital gain effect than others. What does it mean? So let's look at this way. The equity has short-term capital gain with 15%. And the definition of short-term capital gain is 1 year. Less than 1 year. You go to other assets class, to be a long-term capital gain, it has to be minimum holding of 3 years except residential houses. Now, one is the definition of short-term capital gain itself is different from equity than other assets class. Number 2, the tax treatment. All other short-term capital gain in other assets class are taxed at your personal income tax. So if you fall in 10%, you'll get 10%. If you fall in 20%, you'll get charged 20%. If you fall in 30%, you'll be charged at 30% plus the surcharge. But in the equity, it's only 15%. Now there is a big fear that budget may tweak the capital gain. And if that happens, I think market may or may not like it. And that's the one. So that the moment the 4th June event gets over, the 6th June market will start debating about the budget and what could come in the budget. Of course, Prime Minister Modi has given a lot of hope that in 100 days, they are going to announce a mega reforms. And market will very closely, watch very closely, whether we live up to that expectation or not. So my advice to Ravi sir and everyone else, be selective on the stocks you are going to buy. Don't get carried away in that momentum story. Buy from the sector that I mentioned and look at very closely the valuations. But market can correct post numbers coming, election results coming out. Something that we happen in 2019 can happen in 2000. That's why stock selection is of paramount importance. Having said that, why am I suggesting you to buy? Because the long-term, medium to long-term outlook looks extremely good for the Indian equity market. So there could be a correction post-election numbers coming out, but the long-term view on the market remains extremely bullish. For some reason, if you wish to play a little safe, which we are doing something in our PMS also, we are investing in a AAA strategy. We are not investing at one go. We are dividing our investment in a little over a longer period of time, just to ensure that in case of the market remains a little volatile because of the uncertainty of relating to the budget or the election, we are able to deploy the funds at the appropriate level. So maybe something similar there also you can deploy in your personal portfolio.
So this is from Mr. Raj. Sunilji, after attending many webinars conducted by you, I must say that your grip on Indian economy and equity market is unparalleled. From your experience and your educational background, what is your take on Indian taxation system? Do you believe it needs an overhauling to leapfrog India on the path of development and attracting more FDI?
I think there are a couple of things which, Raj sir, thanks for your compliment, sir. There are a couple of things, Raj sir, that we need to do very, this one is that first thing we must begin the consistency in the tax. No one likes the taxation becoming little, uncertainty. People don't like uncertainty. You change every year. And I think one of the clear-cut message that government has been sending, especially on the personal income tax, that they want to do away with the exemption being available. So many exemptions are available in a personal income tax. I think that's why they came out with the new and the old. And the tendency of the government is to push more for the new. Idea is to simplify the tax, tax structure. Something similar can happen on the capital gain side. That's what my sense is. And second thing, I think even if you speak to the corporate, they want government to come out with a simplified tax structure. So it becomes easy. So one tax structures are easy, simple. It can attract the foreign investors also. Second thing, people don't like complications. They don't like complex, where you lot of imagination, leave it to the imagination. Kiska ye bhi ho sakta hai, iska ye bhi ho sakta hai. I think people want things to be a little simpler. And once you make things simpler, you can attract a lot of FDI and a lot of foreign investors also. So I'm of the opinion, see today, the corporates have been asked to pay 22% or 25% tax. Why should individuals should pay 35% tax? It doesn't make sense. My sense is that we should bring in par, if not the board, bring in par the maximum tax slab rate to the corporate level. And if we can do that, I think there will be a big boost to the... See, remember, India needs manufacturing. And that manufacturing can happen, that revive. We want to double our share of manufacturing in the GDP from present level to double. Am I right? And that can only be possible if we allow consumption cycle to boost. Now, consumption cycle can happen only when you leave more money with the taxpayer. In the sense, you reduce the tax slab rate. And if you can do that, I think that will be a big boost for the economy. So I do believe the capital gain need to bring all other assets class in line with other. STT should actually logically should go, number one. Number two, bring in aligned with the, maybe sometimes maybe temporary, sometimes some kind of a what we call impact could be there. See, remember, long-term capital gain was zero previously, am I right? It came under tax at 10%. But market from that level is still higher and much substantially higher. People forgot about that thing. So there could be temporary setback if the capital gain tax will little tweak. But otherwise, it should be fine. Okay. And my sense is that personal income tax should come down in line with the corporate. That's what and I think simplicity is the name of the game. I as an individual, you speak to Mohit and Joseph, they will say, I'll always like a very simple approach to any problem. I don't like very complex this one, because ultimately simplicity wins in the end. Okay, maybe sometimes we like that. Okay, you make it a little more complex, and in the short run it looks very very good, but eventually in the medium to long run you will see that simplicity scores much higher as compared to. So I think India needs a very simple tax structure, and I think we are moving in that direction. So I believe that yes, we need to do a lot of overhauling in terms of our tax structure to bring in line with the global norms. And more simpler, better it is for everyone. Even as an entrepreneur also, you would love that. See, you look at today, the personal income tax has really done extremely well. Am I right? And if we can reduce it, it will become, more people will become compliant. They will not try to take shortcuts to save taxes, and they will be more than happy to pay that taxes. In India, once upon a time, you used to pay 80-85% of income tax. Am I right? And the moment we start reducing, more and more people become compliant. That reduces the black economy also, black money in the economy, and which is actually is a good for the country.
So this is from Mr. Vaidya. Mr. D. Subbarao's ex-RBI governor is expressing strong concerns on economy. Your thoughts, please.
Sir, so I don't comment on other people's opinion. They deserve to have their own opinion, and they are entitled to have their opinion, and I'm nobody to basically challenge them or this one. What we need to all understand is that S&P Global revised India's rating. You look at the GST collection, it is very robust. You look at the personal income tax collection, which is very, very robust. You look at in fact, on the contrary, what was been budgeted by the government in the tax collection, we have seen robustness. We actually surpassed that. You look at what is happening at the the diesel consumption, the electricity consumption, and so on and so forth. These are the very indicators which clearly suggest that there is a robustness in the economy. Now, people do have an experience. I know one famous RBI governor said that India will not grow at 4.5% also. Today, the fact is that India grew at 8%. Forget about India. You look at IMF, what is it saying? You look at the World Bank, look at the ADB, Asian Development. They are all saying that India would be the fastest growing economy in the world. So one gentleman will have an opinion. I am nobody. He is much expert. He is more knowledgeable as compared to me. I look at the data in a very simple form, and I do get the feeling and believe that economy is in a healthy space. There is no concern as far as the economy is concerned. You look at the growth that has come in India, and of course not come as good as what it was expected. But numbers are good. In fact, I was expecting 4 lakh crore net profit for March 2024. It's much higher than 4 lakh crore. 20% growth in the net profit, Y on Y. That cannot be possible if the economy is struggling. Am I right? And these are the numbers not government is presenting. These are numbers presented by the India Inc., which has no business to with the government. Am I right? So I think it's a little. I agree to disagree with Mr. Subbarao. Having said that, he is much more knowledgeable as compared to me, and a lot of great respect for him. But I don't think we need to worry about. See, we are no longer a fragile file. No, if you remember, in 2013, 2014, India was put under fragile file. We are no longer under the fragile conditions. So I think it's quite healthy. We are economy sense.
So this is from Mr. Nimesh. Which are the sectors for the next leg of rally mega trend till 2029?
Nimesh sir, I've said again, I'll repeat for the benefit of everyone. Pharma, defense, railway, and capital goods. I think they will do extremely well. But if you are saying 2029, somewhere the banks and NBFC will also take place. It may not happen immediately in 2024, but somewhere down the line, even banks and NBFC should do extremely well till 2029.
So this is from Mr. Vinod. Sunilji, what is your view on FII investments after 4 June?
So Vinodji, they will see the FII are the first one to leave the country the moment they see the uncertainty, and they have been actually heavy sellers in the month of April and the May, while the retail investors have been very sure that the market looks extremely good, and they pumped in money either through SIP or through their own investment, but FI got moved out. Now, once they see that there is a new government coming in which is equally strong, which was than the previous, I think they will again come back. The only concern right now they have, Vinodji, is that there are concerns about the valuations, and I think that's where you may not see the huge inflow coming in immediately, but somewhere down the line, and if you go back to my prediction of January 2024, that they pumped in good amount of money in 2023. So we should not expect robust inflow from FI in 2024. I mean, that's been the historical trend. So yes, the heavy selling will get reduced, but does it mean that they are going to pump in more money in the next 7 months of 2024 or 6 months of 7 months of 2024? Answer is no.
So this is from Mr. Matthew. Sir, is it okay to buy FMGC ETF and Pharma ETF?
It's perfectly fine, sir. There is nothing wrong with that because we are not then taking a call on the company. And I did, I think ET or Mint basically asked me other day, which is the dark horse for 2025, and I did mention the FMCG looks. One of the assumptions that FMCG looks little promising purely because of the good monsoon, number one. Number two, I believe that if government is going to tweak the capital gain, they will come with some sweetener also, and that sweetener could be the reduction in the personal income tax rate. In other words, the more money with the hands of the customer means more demand for the FMCG goods, and that should really help FMCG. And in terms of valuations, I think they are doing reasonably well. So my sense is that yes, please go ahead and buy FMG ETF and Pharma ETF. Probability of you going wrong is a little low, provided you have at least 1 year time frame.
So this is from Mr. Harnish. Thank you for the insights, Sunil sir. In 2004 election results, BJP lost even after strong positive wave and Vajpayee government's India Shining campaign. If I compare 2024 with that event, how much downside can be seen in the market?
So let me be honest with you. And I met, the Rajdeep Sardesai somewhere in the month of Feb. And in fact, I asked very similar question to him. What is the probability of that? Because he is an expert as compared to me in terms of politics, am I right? And he said, Sunil, doesn't look like what happened in 2004 was a clearly misreading by some of the BJP leaders. And I think Modi is not Vajpayee. He said he understands his pluses and minuses very well. And I don't think that's going to happen. But I assume, Harnish sir, that what you said seems to be the case, that exit poll completely go out of this one. Am I right? It doesn't look like that the what we call NDA is not able to form the government. Okay, the market can tank by 20% on 4th June. It can tank by 40% clearly on the 4th June. So that's what the eventually. Now, what is the probability of not NDA forming the government on 4th June or BJP losing out? My probability is only 1%. Nothing can be short in the world, but my probability is only 1%. 99%, it looks like. See, as I speak to you, the lowest number that has really come out from the NDA is 281 from Dainik Bhaskar. Okay. Otherwise, if you look at India News, 371, Jan Ki Baat, NDTV Jan Ki Baat, 382, News Nation, 342, Republic, 353, and so on and so forth. So no one actually right now talking about NDA. To form a government, you need minimum 272 seats. And everyone right now is saying 280, minimum is 282. So doesn't look like. But having said that, 1% probability, NDA not forming the government, market can go down by 20%. Having said that, should you really get worried? If you ask me, if the market goes out by 4th June by 20%, I'll be the buyer in the market, come what may. Because I'm not betting on the government, I'm betting on the Indian economy. Okay, so and remember in 2004 something similar happened. Market went down by 20%. What happened to the market then? It went substantially up. So if for some reason Hardeep sir, what you are saying comes true, that NDA is not able to form the government, BJP is not able to form the government, and if market falls by 20%, do not panic. On the contrary, buy more. That's what my suggestion would be.
So this is from Mr. Sinel. Sunil ji, I used to guess the interest rate changes and asks us to mark. Any guess now for US interest rate change? FII will not return until their rate reduced. No?
No, sorry, I got okay. So used to get the interest rate changes and ask us to mark. Any guess now interest rate change and will FII return until rate reduced? So I don't think there is a strong debate happening about, and I think this really started globally in the equity market only on the hope that Fed and other central banks across the world will start reducing rate of interest. That has not happened, and yet market looks very, very firm. Am I right? The probability of, so there was a previous, when we entered 2024, there was a belief that Fed will do 6 to 7 rate cuts. That has not happened. Now we are talking about 1 or 2, maybe not a single rate cut. And if you look at the Barron, which came out with a new story yesterday, they also mentioned that there probably is no rate cut only in 2024. I don't think FI will basically bother too much about 1 rate cut, 2 rate cut. I think what they will look at it, the growth in the economy, the fundamental factors, the growth in the earnings of the India Inc., the weightage of India in various global indices, and so on and so forth. So yes, the rate of interest is a factor, but that's the only factor which is going to defy the FI inflow. My answer is no, sir.
So this is from Mr. Ashok. People want tax rules to be simple. What about CAs? Obviously, they won't like it. What is your opinion, sir?
I don't think so. CA will continue to be there in the business, whether we like. I'm also chartered accountant. I'm not in the practice, but see, the beauty in the life is the simplicity. Am I right? So sometimes they need to do more value-added stuff. The CA then, in terms of tax planning and so on and so forth. But simplicity is the name of the game. And if you read the body language of the Ministry of Finance, the officials from the Ministry of Finance, I think they are all for that, and it's in the interest. The more the complicated, more the headache lacks the compliance. I must tell you that also. So this government has basically focused more on the compliance, and one of the best way you can comply something which is simple to follow. Human mind doesn't like complicated things, am I right? The moment it becomes complicated, you basically try to move away from that. So I think if then government is all for the compliance, so they are going to simplify it. What happens to CA is none of the concerns for the government. This government is least bothered about what happens to the CA. I think they want, because CA, what is the kitna CA India mein? I don't know the numbers, but I don't think we will have more than 10 lakh CA, because my number is 47,180. That's the membership number. So let me just Google search how many CAs do we have. I don't think that's a minority. How many CAs India are there in India? Okay, let me see. 3.5 lakhs registered chartered accountant. It's a minority that उसके लिए थोड़ी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया सिंप्लिसिटी नहीं लेके आएगी.
So this is from Mr. Rathif. Please comment on future of IT and chemical sectors.
So Rathif said, I spoke to one chemical dealer 10 to 15 days back, and he was telling me that, not 10 to 15 days, last week only, sorry. And he was saying that prices have gone up in last 1 week, okay? And he said near about 10% prices have gone up, and volume has not been impacted. It's only 1 week. Then I happened to meet a CFO of Hindustan Unilever on Sunday, last Sunday. And he's saying, Sunil, we don't see right now much of an impact of the chemical on our business. So it's all depending on chemical. I think is more of a business of, what happens to the China and so on and so forth. But eventually chemical companies should, law of average should come in. If you remember in 2022, I did mention that chemical there was a complete consensus buy tha. And some of the chemical companies are commanding the valuation of FMCG companies. Price to book value, price to sales was 8-9 times. It was not sustainable anyway. And I did mention at that point of time, please don't get carried away. And there's one chemical company in our Mojo score also was 100. And then someone asked me, why are you not making Mojo stock? And I did give an answer at that point of time that our comfort level from this level is not so high, and hence we are not making it a Mojo stock. And eventually that decision turned out to be true. So right now there is a price correction, there is a time correction chemical companies. So eventually they should do well. Whether they start doing well from 3 months down the line or 6 months down the line, that's an area of debate. But eventually they should do well. But the IT looks extremely promising. Yes, I do understand that commentary has not been so robust. But I think what's going to happen, the manpower cost is going to come down drastically for the IT companies purely because of AI, artificial intelligence. And a lot of IT companies are going to deploy the kind of money they're going to spend to what 6 people can do today writing code. And I was reading one article which says that the coding, the demand for the coders have come down drastically. Why? Because of artificial intelligence. So what one person used to do, the 6 people used to do, now only 1 person you needed for that. That will bring down the employee cost for the IT companies. AI is going to offer a good opportunity for the Indian IT companies. So again, they may not perform so well in 3 months, 6 months down the line, but the long-term outlook extremely looks. In a nutshell, both IT and chemical sectors should do well, provided you a little longer-term horizon. Short-term looks a little challenging, but long-term looks extremely promising.
So this is from Mr. Chandra Shekhar. So, but what about laws? How many laws we have to hold even in fundamentally strong companies?
So, okay, don't get confused with fundamentally strong company, because there are many fundamentally strong companies that have not make returns for you, am I right? So don't get confused with fundamentally strong company. You need to look at, is it going to make money for me from this level or not? If that fundamentally strong company is not going to make, तो वो fundamentally करना क्या है? आचार करना है क्या? कुछ नहीं कर सकते, because ultimately you have to make money. If company does not perform for 5 years, would you basically like to hold on that company? Answer is no, you will not. Am I right? Why के लिए आप उसको करोगे? So look at the business prospects, and if the business prospects are not so great, I wouldn't recommend you to hold that company. Just give you an example, okay? Can you see my screen? Look at this Avenue Supermart. The most fancied company, this company basically owns DMart, am I right? Look at what happened to the 2 years return, 8.37 versus 33%. 3 years return versus 42%, am I right? And 4 years, 90% versus this one. Let me now look at Asian Paints, very fundamentally strong company. Let's look at what happened to that. Don't get confused with fundamentally strong company with making money. 1 year 10% negative, 2 years just 0.62% gain, market went up, 3 years negative returns, 4 years only up by 70%, underperformed very significantly. So don't, so like Asian Paints for example is a fundamentally strong company, you are incurring loss, look at the business prospects and then decide what you need to do. So again I said to get out of a company should never be the function of look at the future prospects. The reason why you bought that company, does it hold true or not? If the answer is no, please get out of that company. कितना भी fundamentally strong company होने दो, कोई मायने नहीं रखता है. Hero Motor Corp in last 8-10 years, and which was a part of Ramdev Agarwal's wealth creation story also once upon a time, did not make money for 8-9 years. The world's largest two-wheeler company, fundamentally strong company, isn't it? But the reason why, because they keep losing market share to Honda and other people. So, and yesterday also I did mention about my auto, the future trend, that you should look at whether this company is gaining market share or losing market share when you are a consumer facing company. So please look at that company, re-evaluate that company. Is it growing, not growing? Is it growing faster than the industry or less than the, if the company growing less than the industry growth, please get out of that company immediately, come what may. कितना भी फंडामेंटल स्ट्रॉन्ग कंपनी को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता, कोई मायने नहीं रखता उसका. बिकॉज आपको पैसा नहीं बन रहा तो what is the point investing in that company? You will be surprised to know that, you know, okay, give me one more data. You know that we also have an international InfinHub is our, I'll show you very interesting, you know, are you aware that Apple has made money for the investors in the last 2 years or not? The answer is it has not made money for the investors in the last 2 years, and I'll show you how. Look at the Apple price, okay? Is it visible, my screen? Okay, let me take you to the returns. In last 2 years, okay, now it's looking little this one. In last 1 year, it's down, it's up by only 8.46% versus 26%. Last 2 years almost in the same what it is basically. And in 2024, it has underperformed very significantly. Nasdaq has done extremely well. This company has not done well. And one of the reasons why people are having fear is this, that it's company like Tesla, for example, seems to be like once upon a time it was part of that what we call the Magnificent Seven. Am I right? And look at Tesla struggling to outperform purely because of you know, it's losing market share and so on and so forth. Look at Tesla, the best EV company is down. And I remember you people were asking and chasing me every day, almost on a daily basis, which is the EV company that we should be buying, if you remember. And this company, Tesla, is down by 15% in last 3 years, while the US market did extremely well. Okay, so that's why I said it's a fundamentally sound company, but should you, this company growing market share, losing market share, if it is not, please get out that company immediately.
So this is from Mr. Milan. How long does the election upside last?
Not more than 3-4 days. Market will go back to the fundamental side, okay? And market will set side relief as that event is over now. Because the market does not like the uncertainty. So once this event gets over, market will start looking at the geopolitical situation, growth in Indian earnings and the valuations.
So this is from Mr. Frank. Greetings, Sunil. TV exit polls are biased. Do you agree?
Which exit polls are biased?
TV, sir.
Huh? TV?
TV exit polls.
Sir, I think you missed my presentation. I know people, you know, and nothing wrong. See, of course, one should take it. The historical trend suggests that TV exit polls are quite on the dot in terms of predicting who is going to form the government. They may not be able to predict exactly the number of seats they are going to get, the party is going to get, but they are quite accurate in terms of predicting who is going to form the government. I presented data of 2014, I presented data of 2019 of the exit poll, and they were dot on. suggesting that NDA is going to form the government. Right now, 2024 also exit poll do suggest that they are going to form the government. It looks like that they will be more accurate than, and on the contrary, they will be underestimating the NDA number of seats if you look at the average poll of poll. So my sense is that I will not take it with the pinch of salt, to be very honest with you. And forget about me, if you look at the market also, market reacted positive on both this exit poll, whether it's in 2014 or 2019. If you missed my first part of presentation, I think this ये मिलेगा ना YouTube पे ये मिलेगा ना. You can go back once this webinar gets over. You can watch this video again, and I've given the data how market, what was the exit poll of 2014, 2019 versus what numbers actually came out, and how did the market react to it. If market was not sure of what exit polls are, they should not have reacted positive, am I right? But they did actually.
So this is from Mr. Gopal. Dear sir, please tell us the performance of financial stocks post-election results and before budget.
I don't know, sir, what you need from me, because financial stocks are, it's a very wide range. Within the finance, you have someone with a gold loan, someone who is in giving a loan to the housing. Then within the housing, there's someone who is giving to the not so credible credit score kind of a so on and so forth. It's a very wide kind of a this one. My sense is that look at the Mojo stock score available on the NBFC company that you wish to invest in, and based on that you take a call, sir. But it's a very wide range, which I don't think I'll be able to give a proper reply to this.
So this is from Mr. Sinel. Will movement of 100 tons of our gold from UK to India affect market?
No, sir. It doesn't affect anything. I don't know why it should make a big story also. You will not remember even after 5 days. No one remember also that after 5 days. What does it matter? It doesn't matter anything actually from the market point of view. It has no meaning, no relevance actually. See, remember in life, if you really wish to be successful, and now I'm not talking about the stock market, cut the noise. There are too many noise which is available, and that will distract you from this. So what I've realized, one of the best way to success in life is to cut the noise. This kind of noise will keep coming in, positive or negative. What matters from the market point that you should be focusing on? TV channels, newspaper, magazines, their job is to basically create noise. Usko धंधा नहीं चलेगा. Am I right? So, what is critical from decision making point of view? Is the gold moving away from 100 tons to UK to India? Is this the point for market to understand or to discount? Answer is no. Noise है वो. Remove that, cut the noise. That's why I say simplicity. The moment you know what data you need to look at it, when you focus on that data, your life becomes simple. Then बाकी सबको noise को निकालते जाओ. It's no matter. When we do our the investment committee meeting, there are a lot of data points we know that we can debate on, deliberate upon. ये देखो, वो देखो, but करने का क्या उस data को? Suppose you get the data, what are you going to do? What is an action point? Is this the point? And sometimes most of the time, I've seen many companies fail very miserably in the strategy because sometimes they get confused with the correlation with the causation. Don't get carried away by that. You need to understand. That's why focus on what matters for the market. सोना बिना कुछ मैटर नहीं रखता. वो आपको पता भी था क्या पहले कि वो 100 टन सोना इंग्लैंड में था? वो हिंदुस्तान में क्या फर्क पड़ा है? Nothing.
So this is from Mr. Rajgop. Sunil bhai, since we are in the election season, it is said that good countries have strong governments, but great countries have a strong opposition. What is your take on this?
I agree with you. In a democracy, we need to have a strong opposition. Now, whose duty is to form a strong opposition? It is not the BJP duty. It is the duty of the opposition party to become a strong. I think they are not able to somehow convey the message they should be able to convey. And that's where they need to improve upon. You can't basically blame BJP not to have a strong opposition, which is unfair, am I right? it's like this. If our PMS performed the best, then you said, you should have a good competition. But that's not this one. Other people should live there. They should pull up their socks and they should basically able to do that. So I think there's a lot of introspection for the opposition parties. Where we are missing, where we are basically missing in the link in terms of not able to do a good job. And if they can do that, I think that's the great thing. So my sense is that, yes, I agree with you that great countries should have a strong opposition, and that's the way the democracy can thrive. That's the way the ruling party will remain under check. Otherwise, what would happen? मनमानी कर लेगा कोई भी अपने आप को. Am I right? So we do need this one. But the responsibility of having a strong opposition doesn't lie on the government. It lies on the opposition party, the opposition leaders. They need to really figure it out. Instead of blaming on the EVM, instead of blaming on this one, they should really focus on where they are not able to connect with the what we call with the voters. And if they are able to do that, I think that's the way. So I always keep telling, बहुत easy है किसी को blame करना, अपने आप में पहले झांकना चाहिए, where am I missing? And if I can do that, one should do that. That's what my take is. And of course, you may not agree with my view, but I strongly believe having a strong opposition is a responsibility of the opposition party, not the incumbent government.
This is from Mr. Narendra. How about the banking sector, which is already good performer in recent times?
I beg to differ with you, Narendra ji. Banking has not done extremely, except if you look at the private sector bank, they have not done well. So I don't agree with that statement. PSU banks have done extremely well. But if the economy has to grow, I think the banking and finance has to do well. And that's why I've said, I would not be surprised by 2029, we may see the finance and the bank turning out to be the best performing sector, one of the best performing sector.
So that's it with the Q&A today.
So thanks a lot everyone taking time out. Do remember that market is going to react positively on Monday, whether we like it or not, whether we believe in exit poll or not. But that the reality is it's going to react positively on Monday. Tuesday, if what has basically already been factored in, they don't expect too much upside or the downside on Tuesday. Overall, Indian market looks extremely good on a medium to long term, but there are challenges in the short run purely because of the valuation. With this, thanks a lot everyone taking time out and attending this webinar. Good night, take care.